See this. My iPhone is on airplane mode and the AI is still running. There's no API key, there's no internet connection, and the model is running locally on my iPhone. Now, the real question is this actually useful or just a cool demo? This is what we are going to test today. By the end of this video, you should know three things. If this is actually working, if this is useful, and in which cases the cloud model are still winning. For the demo, I'm using Locally AI, which is an iOS app, and it's super cool for people who are interested in speed and flexibility. So you can download it from the App Store. I'm not trying to prove that this local AI that we are running could replace ChatGPT or Claude. That is not the case yet. But the question is, can this be useful? Enough of talking. Now let's jump into the demo part. I'm using iPhone 17 Pro, and the app that we will use to run LLMs locally is called Locally AI. And I'll open this app. In my case, I already have Gemma 4 E2B model loaded. For you, feel free to pick any model as per your phone. So we'll go to settings, and here you can see an option to manage models. So it has the Gemma 4, the Bonsai, even the Quen 3.5 and other models are there. If I click on Gemma 4, it says it's recommended for iPhone 17 Pro and iPhone Air. So this is what we have loaded, but feel free to download any model that you want to experiment with. And remember, the downloading part will require internet connection, but once you have downloaded, you can interact with it offline. So these are the models that are currently available in Locally AI. They have Ministral, they have Small LM, which is a model by Hugging Face, and lots of other models. You can take a look at this. I will start with the demo now. So let me ask it to explain LLMs to me in a simpler manner. And this is not the main test. I'm just checking here if the model is responding to me. And now comes the real proof. We will turn on the airplane mode. And now I will ask it to summarize this messy note into 5 bullet points. As you can see, it's asking me to provide the messy note itself. Let's take an example. Let's say I want to make a video about running LLMs locally on iPhone, the one that I'm creating right now. Main points to note are privacy, offline use, no token cost, battery, and why local plus hybrid cloud might be the best setup. Let's take this as example. As you see here, this was pretty quick in summarizing the 5 pointers for me. So it says privacy first, offline capability, zero token cost, power efficiency, and hybrid advantage. Now let's test it for something creative. So I'm a creator, I do content creation a lot. So let's ask it to turn this into a short LinkedIn post. Keep it simple and practical. Let's see what it codes. It is giving me a couple of options to pick from. Okay, now let's try something else. I'll spin up a new chart for this. Model is multimodal, the Gemma 4. So it also accepts images. You can put in an image and then ask it to analyze it maybe. So let's say analyze this image and give me 3 content ideas for X. So it is analyzing it, and you see how fast is this. You can do all of this stuff, and everything here is happening on my iPhone. If you notice, the response is not as that smart as a frontier cloud model. Like it is okay, and that's the point. Like it's good for some task. And one more thing to note here is even for the same prompt, the model choice that you make will affect the quality and speed a lot. So that is up to you. If you switch to another model and rerun the same prompt, you can compare the output quality and speed. Having seen the demo, now let's talk about how this works in a simpler manner. So what happened is first you download these model weights which requires internet connection, and then the app, like in our case it was locally AI, it loads the model into memory. And then whatever prompt you give is processed by your phone. There are a couple of things that are going to decide your experience. The first is the model that you are using, the quantization level of the model, and how much memory do you actually have in your device. And it also matters like how long are your prompts. And the bigger unlock here is the quantization. I've already talked about quantization in the past. I'll link the video in the description. Do check it out, which is why a smaller stable model is a good model for a phone rather than a bigger model that keeps on crashing all the time, because it's being about able to run this model smoothly on your phone. Now let's talk about some of the use cases where local LLMs are actually useful. So the first is the private note and journaling. So if you're somebody who prefers keeping your notes private, then having the local inference is the default choice for you. The second use case where this fits beautifully is, let's say if you are traveling and you have less internet connection, or let's say you are on a flight and there's no internet connection at all, then in those cases it is very useful. The third use case could be if you're a creator and then you want to draft your copy, not the final version, but if you want a starting point. The fourth use case, which is pretty powerful if you're a learner, is this could be your learning assistant. So you can ask it to explain something to you, and then you ask it to quiz you on the same topic. For me, the most realistic use case is not replacing ChatGPT completely, but having a private AI in my pocket that I can run anywhere. So if you are somebody who cares about privacy, who cares about open models and experimentation, and who want this as a fallback, then you should definitely try this out. And if you're somebody who wants long context windows, who wants the best reasoning model in the world, then you should skip it for now. Now I want to talk about few mistakes that people do when they're starting out. So they will pick up a heavy model at first, which is not compatible with their device, and then they'll just assume that local AI is really bad. The second mistake that people do is they'll use one model and then they will generalize that's how the other models will work, but that's not true. Even for the same prompt, the model output will vary depending on which model you're using. The next mistake is if you are just relying on local AI for everything, it's not going to work. So it could be more of like hybrid approach where you have ChatGPT or Claude running and then you pair it up with local AI. And the last mistake is pretending there are no trade-offs, because they are. So you should keep that in mind. That brings us to the end of the video. So as of today, you can run these local models on your iPhone for free. Do check locally AI, do give it a try and let me know what you think. If you want a part 2 where I compare different models available that you can run on your phone, comment part 2 in the comments below and I'll do it for you guys. See you in the next one. Bye bye.